A crowd of people celebrated outside a hospital in Petah Tikva, near Tel Aviv, on Saturday as a helicopter arrived with 4 freed Israeli hostages. According to Associated Press earlier, the 4 female soldiers had been taken to an Israeli army base, where they were reunited with their parents, and could be seen in pictures hugging them emotionally. The 4, who were held hostage by Hamas, were returned safely to Israel after the militants paraded them in front of a crowd of thousands in Gaza City. In exchange, Israel released 200 Palestinian prisoners as part of the fragile ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. The truce is aimed at winding down the deadliest and most destructive war ever fought between Israel and the militant group. The fragile deal has so far held, quieting airstrikes and rockets and allowing for increased aid to flow into the tiny coastal territory. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office said Israel would not allow displaced Palestinians to begin returning to northern Gaza, which had been expected to begin by Sunday, because a civilian hostage who was supposed to be released by Hamas had not been freed on Saturday. Israel's war against Hamas in Gaza has killed more than 47,000 Palestinians, according to Gaza health authorities. The ministry doesn't distinguish between combatants and civilians. The war was sparked by Hamas' October 7, 2023, attack on Israel, which killed around 1,200 people.
So I live close by, and I came to support the cause of getting, and we want all the hostages to come back home, obviously. So we're just waiting for that to happen.
שמחים שכולם יחזרו בשלום, מחכים למשפחת ביבס שיחזרו לנו בשלום, אמן. אוהבים את כולם, שרק יחזרו הביתה בשלום, אמן. כולם.
עם ישראל,
עם ישראל חי!
עם ישראל חי! אין על ביבי! אין על ביבי! אין על ביבי!
Members of the Ukrainian Army's Azov Brigade could be seen using newly arrived howitzers on the front line in the Donetsk region on Thursday, firing towards advancing Russian troops near the town of Toretsk. This howitzer can reach targets that we couldn't reach before, explained Vorzel, a commander of one of the Czech-made Dita 155mm self-propelled howitzers being used. According to Associated Press, the deployment of the howitzers reflects Ukraine's ongoing efforts to modernize its artillery and fend off Russian aggression. Yet with Russia continuing to make incremental advances in the Donetsk region, Vorzel said more weapons were urgently needed. If there are more of these weapons, and the weather allows in the spring and summer, and reconnaissance and drones fly more actively, then we will be able to work more effectively and destroy more of their artillery equipment in their rear, he said. Vorzel, who has been fighting since the start of the full-scale invasion and saw his hometown occupied, said the situation was very difficult but that they had no choice but to continue to fight. We just have to keep fighting, keep deterring them, keep destroying them, until they come to the point that there is no point in fighting us anymore. When they themselves get the idea that there is no point, then we can sit down at some negotiating table, he said. Vorzel said his biggest dream was to return to his wife and daughter, but added, "We understand what we are doing here and continue to do it." The Azov Brigade is among Ukraine's most effective and popular fighting units, but it has been dogged by its origins as a volunteer battalion that drew fighters from far-right circles and criticism for some of its tactics. The current members of the Azov Brigade, which has been absorbed into Ukraine's National Guard as the 12th Special Forces Brigade, reject accusations of extremism and any ties with far-right movements.
На машині, тобто для того, щоб там камера заднього виду, бокового виду, камера. От. І ще один монітор третій, це повністю вже монітор керування всіх датчиків. Ми поводили, можна подивитися як на мапі. От. Ця гармата вона може діставати до тих цілей, коли, наприклад, ми до цього не могли діставати. Ну, це ж непоганий результат. От, якщо такої зброї буде більше, і в принципі погода буде дозволяти вже, наприклад, там в весінній період, у літній період, коли розвідка і дрони будуть літати активніше, то ми зможемо просто ефективніше працювати і в більшій кількості по їхніх тилах, от, розносити їхні артилерійські орудія, наприклад, розносити їхні якісь склади, може якісь там командні пункти там, чи ще щось. Тобто треба більше такої зброї. Просто треба продовжувати воювати, продовжувати їх стримувати, продовжувати їх знищувати, допоки вони не прийдуть до того, що немає сенсу з нами далі воювати, треба щось закінчувати. Коли до них самих дійде ця ідея, що немає сенсу, то тоді можна сідати за якийсь стіл переговорів. Поки вони продовжують тиснути, поки в їх планах захоплювати наші міста, знищувати наші міста, вбивати наших цивільних, вбивати людей. Ну, то, що вони зараз творять по Херсону, по Ніколаєву, коли вони просто FPV-шками полюють за цивільними автомобілями, коли вони скидами скидають на цивільних, вбивають їх просто в мирних містах, скажімо так, навіть не прифронтових. От, ну це ж жах. У мене і дитина, і дружина, звісно, хочеться і додому приїхати, подивитися на рідних, от, і частіше бувати вдома, але ну, така ситуація. От. Ну, а так, в принципі, втоми немає, тобто ми продовжуємо працювати. Ну так, якщо в загальному взяти, то все одно продовжуємо працювати, ми розуміємо, що ми тут робимо, і продовжуємо робити.